Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to be here again tonight. I uh, have gotten a little sidetracked and haven't put up a Worthy Wednesday for a week or two. I've been giving the Worthy Wednesday episode 13, which is what we're on, a lot of thought because Worthy Wednesday episode 12 was kind of in depth. I mean, it really talked a lot about the idea of energy and vibrational energy flowing through us, not just to us. And so that whole idea made me really stop and think. And then, I named six different things that to get that energy and that vibration high and to have it flowing through us in a real high quality way, um, there were six different things that we could do. And I'm going to touch mostly today on the first thing that we can do. So I'm really happy that you're here. I'm Jerry Lynn Brown. I'm with Your Kind Mind and Be Kinder Than Necessary YouTube channel. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, like, share, comment. I love hearing what you say in the comments. I love hearing how it is affecting you, what you're thinking. And it really means a lot to me when you actually respond back. And so thank you so much for doing that. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to delve deeper into this concept of mindfulness and awareness, and part of becoming more mindful is being willing to spend time meditating, being willing to go into that really deep, deep conscious level of getting beyond the alpha and the beta levels of consciousness and really digging down deep into the delta and the theta levels of consciousness. And as you dig down deeper, your vibration will actually raise significantly, and the quality of your meditation, the quality of becoming more aware, the quality of your vibration as is flowing through you will increase significantly. And so I just want to spend some time really looking at how we open those doors for greater inner potential. It by meditating, becoming more mindful, becoming more aware, it we begin to um, we begin to realize that we can empower ourselves. People, we're always talking about wanting to empower other people, but in truth, you have to be able to empower yourself before you can do that for other people. And so to be able to realize that you you are the architect of the journey that you are traveling on. It is not a haphazard journey, and that you are in fact in charge of a lot of where that goes, depending on how you are thinking, what you are thinking, the people you're hanging out with. It's mind-boggling sometimes. Think about just think about if you could become the architect of this vast landscape of consciousness. And the truth is, you can become that architect. So uh, let's delve into that. Let's go a little bit deeper. All right. Um, like I said, this is Worthy Wednesday number 13, because the truth is, we are all worthy simply because we are. And by delving into ways to become more mindful about ourselves, we'll also delve into ways to realize that in fact we are all worthy. So, um, you know, this whole episode is really going to be about meditation, awareness, mindfulness, because I truly cannot express how meditating regularly has completely changed my life. It's really interesting because my husband will often say to me, The Rock will say, well, he doesn't often say it to me because I don't often go without meditating, but he has said to me before, I can tell when you don't meditate. Isn't that interesting? I think it's fascinating. I can tell when you're not meditating because you're not as calm. All right. So I think, wow, that's so true. That's so absolutely true. You know, it's when we meditate, what we're doing is we are inviting ourselves to have this really profound look at our lives. And we begin to see the journey of our life differently. And so I really want to delve into that. When we meditate, we start to encounter moments of deep insight and inner wisdom. I mean, there are times where I'll think, where did that come from? Like I'll be meditating and I'll just have this thought and I'll think, I don't even know where that came from. Huh. But here's what I believe. We already all know the answers. We just don't know that we know them. We already know everything we need to know. We just don't know that we know it. Because so many times we are so busy listening to all the chatter in our head. We're so busy listening to all the chatter, that's going on out here in the external world that we cannot get quiet to listen to the whispers of our own intuition. We can't, it's just so noisy. Like I have said for years, oh my gosh, if people could just go and pry open my head and look at the inside, they would see all these little men and women just running around getting stuff done inside here. They're just they're chattering and they're talking and they're organizing and they're creating and they're just constantly going. And the beautiful thing that meditation has done for me is it has quieted those chattering people down. Like when I'm meditating, they'll just stop and have a glass of tea, a cup of hot tea. They just they just all sit down, and it's taken me it doesn't happen overnight. Meditation and that calmness doesn't happen overnight, but if you just keep doing it, it will. All right, like I'm in a meditation program right now, and I just think you have to find the one that works best for you. But this one, I looked around for some, wasn't happy with some of them. I kept looking. I found the one, and it said do this for 90 days, at least once a day, twice if you can do it. It's interesting. The meditation is 23 minutes and so many seconds. And I think, isn't that interesting that it's not 25 minutes and that it's not 20 minutes? It's 23 minutes and like 20 seconds or something. And that must be what they have found works really well, because, in fact, for me, it does. But I, excuse me, I have found that all those little people roaming around in my head, talking and organizing and chattering, when I'm meditating, they all just sit down and have a glass of tea or a cup of warm tea. They all just stop doing what they're doing and just let me get really, really clear with what my inner self is thinking, and lets me get really clear about my intuition. And when I do that, I have this, um, I have these profound thoughts that just pop into my head. And like I said earlier, I'll think, where did that come from? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't need to know the answer to that because it came from deep in. It came from what I intuitively already know. And we already all know what we need to know. We just don't know we know it. It's hard to explain. Anyway, so have I often want to say, and I've often asked people that I know meditate, have you had an aha moment? Have you had moments in meditation where it's just like this piece of the puzzle just drops down and boom, the whole puzzle is finished? And you go, oh, wow, that all just fell into place. Wow. Huh. Okay. That's what it's supposed to be. Isn't that interesting? Let me get a glass or a drink of water. And the puzzle makes sense suddenly. And then I'll think, oh, okay, I know what to do now. And I will just go and do that thing that I know that I'm supposed to do. Or I'll just have this overwhelming sense of calm and peace. You know, meditation it goes beyond insights. It doesn't just go, it just doesn't give you the piece of the puzzle, all right? It will also go way beyond that. It's renowned for that whole stress reducing thing. It's renowned for giving you well-being enhancing benefits, ways to become more physically um, healthy. It's renowned to help you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And when all of those things are working well, usually, actually, I'm not going to say usually, I'm going to say your finances will be different as well because you are in tune at a different vibration and money will just start to flow to you. It's really interesting. Um, but getting that whole part of being a well-rounded, balanced person, that's what meditation helps to do for you. And you become more aware. And when you become more aware of what's going on around you, you automatically start to become more aware of what's going on within you. And when you become more aware of what's going on within you, you automatically become more aware of what's going on around you. It's really super fascinating. So, mindfulness meditation, like you have to go into it knowing that you're going to be really mindful about what's happening. It will be you again, like I said, you become aware of physical sensations. Like you will start to realize, oh, I'm really tense right here. I need to relax. Or, oh man, my head right, like I'm squinting. I'm got this. I'm doing this. Or my jaw is clenching. Or my breath is shallow because you're stressed, you're anxious. And meditation will help to alleviate so much of that it's mind-boggling when you start to realize it. Some of the most successful people in the world, and not just recently, but for in history, have often said that they meditate, that they spend time in their mind. They spend time getting this figured out. They spend time um, becoming mindful. And so you want to really start to think about, oh, I'm starting to breathe shallow, or I'm getting anxious, or I'm getting nervous, or I'm afraid of something. And then to go, okay, I need to recognize it and not judge it. Just say, oh, okay, isn't that interesting? And then just recognizing it often will make it go away. When we went into distance education, one of the things that I was really afraid of was all the technology that was going to be needed for me to be able to teach online. I remember thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Like, I am not very technical savvy. How is that going to work? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm sure I said this in another Worthy Wednesday, but I just sat with it for a while and I realized eventually I just need to recognize that. I don't need to judge myself. I don't need to tear myself down. I just need to recognize that this is going to be hard, and that's okay. I need to recognize that I'm going to be afraid of this sometimes, and that's okay. And I realized at that point, I need to become really comfortable being uncomfortable. And the instant that I had that thought, everything calmed down. And whenever I found myself becoming anxious, stressed, or afraid of something new that I was trying to learn, I would say, "Hey, Geraldine, this is hard and that's okay. Just be aware of it. Get back deep into your mind, do your breathing, do your meditation, do your, recognize the physical sensations that you're having and just be and be okay being uncomfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable." And it changed everything. It changed everything. I was a better teacher after that year than I was at the beginning of the year. And I'm constantly trying to figure out how to improve. So, this whole meditation is so strong. I can't even begin to tell you. Now, we're going to talk about gratitude in more detail on another Worthy Wednesday, but you know, there are so many ways you can meditate. Like you can, I mean, just imagine starting your day meditating about what you're grateful for. And eventually you will start to dig deeper and you won't just always say the really obvious things like, I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful for my spouse, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my God, I'm grateful for whatever it is that you're grateful for. And you'll start to go deeper and you'll start to say things like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful I got to see that beautiful flower on my walk today. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, wow. Can you hear the bird chirping? I'm so grateful for that. And you'll start to have this much higher vibration in just taking the time to feel that gratitude. So I want to tell you a little thing that happened this past weekend. I got to spend some time with some family, and one of the people I got to spend time with was my stepson Jordan, and I just really, really enjoy spending time with him. And we spent several hours having conversation about being mindful. We spent several hours talking about raising your vibration and what that means and what that looks like and what it feels like to us. We spent hours talking about being grateful and living in the now and living in the moment. And that's what mindfulness will do for you is you will start to live in the moment, and it will be so different than living in the past and worrying about the future, or regretting the past and worrying about the future, and just live for right now and what's going on. So here's an example. We were standing in front of the kitchen window of where we were staying, and we were in this very beautiful mountainous kind of town, where our family lives, and where some of our family lives. And it was in the morning, and a deer, we Jordan said, "Oh my gosh, there's a deer." And I looked down and went, "Wow, there is." And then we went, "Oh my gosh, there's another one. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Wow, there's one more." And we just stood there in pretty close to silence, but in both of our minds, just giving gratitude for that moment to be able to see deer out our kitchen window. And before we knew it, we were looking at 9 different deer. Wow. Mamas and babies. And it was so beautiful. And we just, I don't know, we stood there for, as long as we needed to stand there. And then eventually a noise happened and they ran away. But we were just so grateful for that moment to be able to enjoy and be really mindful about what was going on. And it just brought such a sense of calm and peace. The next day, he had already left. And the next day, I was going on another walk. And I didn't walk and think, okay, now let me think about all the things I've got to get done today. Let me think about blah, 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 blah. Let me worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Let me think about something that made me angry, 10 years ago. No, I didn't do that. What I did was I said, let me just enjoy the blue sky. Wow, isn't it beautiful? Let me enjoy the wind blowing in my hair. Isn't that cool? And on my face. Let me enjoy the warmth of the sun. And I was really, really mindful about all the different sensations that I was having, that I was feeling on my skin, and that I was feeling internally, that I was, feeling the ground underneath me, that I was seeing, that I was hearing, that I was smelling, and not tasting, but did have my water, and so I was enjoying it when I would take a drink of water. And then I had this um, intuition. You need to look over here. So I looked over here, and there was a wild turkey, and I just stopped and I went, "Wow, that is so cool! I'm looking at this wild turkey. Isn't that amazing?" And out walked another one, and I just gave gratitude that I got to be in their space. And out walked another one. And then I had this thought, wow, Jordan and I saw 9 deer yesterday. Wouldn't that be cool if I actually saw 9 turkeys today? And I just stood there and waited, and I gave gratitude to be in their space. And before it was over, there were 9 turkeys. And I got to enjoy 9 wild turkeys. I just thought, that is so cool. But if I hadn't been paying attention to my own mindfulness and to my own sensations and to my own intuition, if I would have let all that chatter in my head take over, I would not have ever heard the whisper that said, "Look over here. Wow, isn't that cool? Just enjoy that moment." So, every morning before I get out of bed, that my alarm says, when it goes off on my phone and I go to turn it off, it says, "Give praise for this glorious day and live in gratitude." And then that's my first reminder. Yep, make sure you do that. And then I just lay there and I just think of at least 10 things that I am really grateful for. And then I begin my day. Like I get up, I begin my day then. But then I actually get up and I begin my physical moving around day. And the fact that I take the time to be mindful about that is it creates a stunning day for me. I almost never have a bad day. People around me will have a bad day, but I very seldom let that affect me. I almost never have a bad day. I'll recognize that they're having a bad day, but I won't let it affect me. And so, I just want you to really think about the beauty of meditation, the beauty of mindfulness, and how doing that helps us to align our inner world with our outer world. It's really amazing, and we start to live in a much, much harmonious place with ourselves and others. And so, just I cannot encourage you enough to become really present in that moment, because, when I was telling you about the turkeys, that's now the past, right? When it happened, that was happening right then, but then it was the past. And when I told you about it, that was a couple of minutes ago. That's the past, right? So you got to really be thinking about, be in the vibration. As you know, one of my favorite uh, scholars is Florence Scovel Shinn. And she said, be in the vibration. I love that. I just think that is so cool. Be in the vibration. Like that's such a great thing to say. You know, when we become really, really conscious of that, we start to really focus on the vibrational energy of that meditation, of the breathing, of the sensations that's going on, you will this the journey that you're on will change significantly and in such an amazing and beautiful way. You will notice that doors will start to fly open, paths will become unobstructed, and you will look at life differently. You will not feel as anxious. You will not be as stressed. That things will start to flow to you in ways you had no idea about. You know, miracles are not a thing that just happens once in a while. A miracle happens every day, several times a day. Okay, I've had several miracles happen to me today. They've been astounding. They've been amazing. I never want, I mean, they happen every day because I expect them to happen every day. And they do. The universe says, oh, Geraldine expects a miracle today, so let me provide one. Geraldine expects several miracles today. Let me provide them. But I never take them for granted. And I always give gratitude for them. They're happening every day. So, you know, I really want to encourage you to get a program of meditation that works for you. It has to do with your breathing. It has to do with um, focusing on calm. That's what has you it has that's usually why a meditation program will have you focus on breathing or the sensations around you. Like, what are you hearing? What are you feeling inside? Can you feel the chair underneath you? You know, sometimes I will do a meditation. I got this from a guy that I took some really fabulous meditation note instruction from. Shirzad is the first name, and for the life of me, I cannot remember his last name. Anyway, he talked about rubbing your two fingers together as you breathe. And just that sensation of these two fingers, and your goal is to feel the thumbprint or the fingerprint. And to just become really in tune with that. Now, it feels different when you are rubbing. Notice my thumb is not the one moving, it's my pointer finger. This is the one that's moving. My thumb is not really, it moving very slightly, but not a lot. Okay, and I'm just concentrating on feeling that fingerprint. Now, when I make my pointer finger stop and I move my thumb, the fingerprint feels different. It's interesting. And literally do that for like 5 minutes and just become really, really aware of that. And it is shocking how that one thing can calm you down. Here's the beauty of this. You can do it while you're in a meeting that is stressing you out. You know, just put it in your lap and do it. You can do it while you're driving and you're being stressed. You can do it if somebody is mad at you. You can just start to do that calming, rubbing your fingers together. That is one form of mindfulness and meditation. And it's really, really beautiful. So I just wanted to give you some of those ideas that if you want to increase, and I'm assuming you're listening to this because you want to do this. If you want to really increase the quality of the vibrational energy that's flowing through you and to others, meditation is a huge way to do it, because what will happen is as you meditate, you become more aware. As you become more aware, you will become more self-aware. As you become more self-aware, you will be able to go deeper into that conscious level, and you'll be able to get to the theta and the delta conscious level instead of the alpha and beta conscious level. And you will be able to then really become in tune with your intuition. And that is when you really start to see a big difference in your life. So I just, yeah, try it. Try it for 90 days. See what happens. Be grateful for 90 days. Do that vibration. Just be in the vibration. All right. If you're feeling uncomfortable, recognize you're feeling uncomfortable. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Recognize you're feeling anxious. Recognize all of that. Quiet the mind down. Quiet out, let them go, all that stuff going on in your head. Tell it to go have a cup of tea. And while you stay really mindful and you stay really aware and you stay really in tune with what's going on. All right. So that's what I had to say today. Thank you so much for coming and listening. If you liked it, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know. Don't just say, hey, Geraldine, nice video. Like, how did it affect you? What do you see yourself going forward and doing? All right. And in the meantime, work on being kinder than necessary to yourself, because when you do that, you raise that higher vibration. Miracles will start to just abound around you, and you'll be able to really raise your vibration in general and your life. So you'll also be able to be kinder than necessary to others. So thank you so much. Be kinder than necessary to yourself. So be kinder than necessary to others. Bye.